Good morning, everyone. How y'all living? I am James Anthony Coleman II, and this is Big Games BS, brought to you by Did Media Group, presented by AlphaMaleJacks.com. A lot of people could probably use this. AlphaMaleJacks.com. AlphaMaleJacks is the go-to. Actually, AlphaJacks.com is the go-to. Actually, no, it's AlphaMaleJacks.com still, but Alpha Clinics is the go-to regenerative science-based place. Like, get your blood work done, blood pressure, cholesterols, all these different things. Life is really, really hard. Really, really, really hard. And you need to make sure you have your emotions and your hormones in check. A lot of people are very hormonal, very emotional. This weekend was very tough. And anybody who knows or has listened to this show, one of my favorite shows is Frasier. And it's weird when people find that out, but I love Dr. Frasier Crane. And I'm here for you. I am here to help coach you through the pain and the suffering and whatever emotional traumas or damage that you may have had. So I have a few Hurricane fans. There's going to be a segment here that's going to be a little triggering to you. But I'm here for you. I want you to know that this is it's trigger therapy. So we're going to make you relive a moment in your past that might have been difficult for you. And I'm going to coach you through this. For Florida State fans, right now we're having an issue where we don't know how to handle success. So I'm going to coach you through some of those things. Florida fans, we're not talking to you today. Congratulations on your win. Jaguar fans, we're going to be able to express joy. Those are the main topics today. There's a lot of other shit that's going on in the world that I get to avoid because sports does great things to be able to help us not have to worry about the bad. But this weekend right here was crazy. But we're inside the world's greatest cigar lounge, and as of right now, if you're hearing things in the background, you might hear some a little like zzz. It's because we're doing shit, because we make shit happen here, because it's the world's greatest cigar lounge, Goodfellas Cigar Lounge. So come to Goodfellas, get you a drink. If you're an all-in member, first drinks on me. You have a membership here to Goodfellas. Basically, if you're just a member, come on. I had somebody ask me to just I don't want to do the men woman podcast, but that shit do be fun to talk about, man. But like, I gotta chill on that shit because
We're not very diverse. We need women.
I need more women because I want more women perspective. Because even all of it comes from me wanting women to win. I love women, like that's my pleasure. I'm not and I don't, but I also know that sometimes not just women, everybody's a little weird, and I think we got to get people paired with the right pair, or find you somebody whose weirdness you can handle, and settle down and love that person's weirdness. They may like Pokemon, you may not understand it, but you just got to roll with it. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm learning more and more that some of this shit is kind of cool, and when I think about it, I like TV shows and stuff that shows me how the other side lives. And Big Bang Theory kind of helped a hypothesis that I had.
Yep. So when white people watch BT and they feel like they understand us,
Well, no, they don't. They do. They understand the aspect of it. That's why I used to tell black people, like, yo, y'all know they think we act like that, right? So we got to be careful with what we put out. But what I meant was, I like nerds. There are hot women or fine women in every space as long as you're really, really good at it. And you have an opportunity to be able to get one. And the blonde in Big Bang Theory just proves the point. And you know, and not the waitress that was supposed to be the one that everybody liked. I'm talking about the one with the glasses that was like really, really. There's going to be a cute scientist, and she's not going to want a job. She's going to want a guy who matches her intellect, because those are the women that are pure in their stuff. But I don't know what that has to do with Goodfellas, but I want to do a show live where we just kind of just hash out and we talk about stuff. But then there's a side of me that really wants to recreate the Man Show. If you don't know what the Man Show is, it was one of the greatest sketch comedy shows in history. It's where we got Jimmy Kimmel from. I don't know what happened to the other guy, but Jimmy Kimmel, they used to do. I learned a lot about things. Like actually, at the game, they had people going out with trying to get you to sign petitions, and I like the guy came up to me and he was like, "Would you sign it?" He kept bothering me. I said loud, "No, dude, I do not want to end women's suffrage. I don't want to sign your petition to end women's women's suffrage." He's like, "Huh? I don't want women." He's like, "I don't want women to suffer." And then that skit will never not be funny, where they had women sign the petitions to end women's suffrage because American English doesn't make any sense. But all that to say is, if you want to support the show, there's a couple ways. Right now, go click the like button. That's the first way you could do it. Number two, if you could, just share it. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you would like to, please come hang out at Goodfellas. Purchase a refreshing beverage for a young lady or yourself. Get a cigar. We have flavored ones now for the women. Or just go to alphamalejacks.com. Let's get our blood work done. Let's go do all of these different things and whatnot. Oh man, I like that. Intellectually dysfunctional. That might be the name of the show. And Eric, I did see that Frasier is coming back. I don't know if I like that though, because they're old now. But we'll see. I think it's on Paramount TV, Paramount Plus. Anyway, so we got 35 people here right now. I need people to go just like it. I think we're at 30-40 when it comes to likes. We're a hell of a way away from 5,000. Remember, if we get 5,000 likes, I just read it. What? Yeah, I thought he was describing the show. I know. I was like, I like that. I was like, definitely is intellectually dysfunctional. This motherfucker just texted me and made me lose my train of thought. Anyway, let's just go through the housekeeping. I don't have it up there, but remember, guys, we're coming up on the Duke game. Jack's dream is coming up. I just want you guys, if you're there, I need Jack to leave feeling like he was the biggest VIP. I might even try to, would it be too? No, because I don't want that motherfucker losing that shit. We're going to get him. I'm going to go try to get him a Coleman jersey. I was about to say, if I cracked open one of the jerseys, let him wear it. But I don't want to have to beat up a blind kid for losing my jersey or spilling like a chili cheese dog on my jersey or some shit like that. But we're going to get Jack something. So Jack's coming. If you would like to make donations, MFTK36, MFTK Foundation, MFTK36 on Cash App, MFTK Foundation, Venmo, MFTK Foundation at gmail.com. That's going to be because you'll get a chance to see. He'll get a chance to almost get the full big game experience. I can't get you guys on the sideline during the game like I did, but I want to show a picture, like show y'all. And my guy said thank you to Seminole, not even Seminole Nation. He said thank you Sports Den Nation. And you got a picture of me with my boy. That's Fitz, Miles. Oh. Yeah, this is so I want y'all to make sure, if you want to, you can go check this out. It's one of my tweets. You can retweet it. That's Fitz right there, my kicker. He was very enthusiastic with the support that we've gotten him. I told him we have a whole I didn't tell him what the hashtag was, but I told him we got a whole hashtag for him. Tits for Fitz. And Fitz has been we appreciate him. If you scroll down, one of them gets real. It's hilarious. That right there. So Deshaun, like some of y'all don't need to have social media. Did I tell you I follow All Dubs now on Instagram? All Dubs is like, there's something wrong with him. But I like it. There's something wrong. There's something wrong with Deshaun Adams too. I forgot, man. You would get crucified doing that in the Could they see it? Yeah. I was like, yeah. Like that's kind of one of the things. Like we see you right now. Like what the hell is going? Like, but this is the official Mike Norvell. This is the Mike Norvell hoodie. And if I told you where I got this hoodie from, I'd have to kill you. That being said, if you're an all-in member, or you know what? If you're a member and you really do want a gray hoodie, I could probably make that happen for you. My man Brandon James put, why nobody mentioned Momo's Pizza on here? You know what? Before we get, happy birthday, Ramon.
Oh, really?
It's Ramon's birthday, man. Do we have like a clap? Or I know we don't have happy birthday on there, but maybe we need to do that. Like, now, before anybody gets on me, yeah, we'll go with that. Before anybody gets on me, you didn't wish me happy birthday. Facebook probably didn't tell me on that day that it was your birthday. I happened to click on Facebook, and the first thing that popped up was boom, it's Ramon James' birthday. Saw him on Saturday, was looking good. He wins everything. So I'm shocked he didn't win. But if you're a member, you want a hoodie, we are definitely making tits for fits hoodies. With shirts, that is coming. That would be that would be here by Christmas by the time supply chain stuff goes on. But I know how to get them. The problem is it's if you're a normal size individual, they don't really sell them in normal sizes, but they do sell them in big sizes. So I'm trying to right now. Once I locate that black, my guy's looking for that black sleeveless hoodie that Mike Norvell been wearing. I gotta get that. That shit clean. But yeah. That's one thing. So I got that knocked out. We basically paid for the show. So we got that knocked out. What else do we have up there, Mouse? That I have to say in housekeeping. We talked about Jack. Need y'all to hook my boy Jack up. Yeah. No, none of this shit is real. Everybody just makes up holidays. But I want this holiday to be real. So this holiday is real. What we need, there's apparently is National Short People Day is on October 21st. And if you are, I think it says 5'4" isn't really, it's short, but that's not short enough. I think that's too tall for permission to be needed. But apparently on October 21st, you can go throw anybody under 5'4" without their permission needed. So anybody, but I'm not tossing 5'4". Like if anybody would like to make a booth for the Duke game, for the Duke tailgate, this is what we're gonna do. This is what I need. I need my short people to come up. We're gonna have a little booth, and we'll have some turf that we can like maybe just put out or a measuring stick. And we just want to be whoever can get thrown the furthest gets a prize, and whoever can throw the furthest can get a prize. Can we have a short person throwing booth at the Duke at the homecoming tailgate? I think that would be festive. I want to put this up. Plus, I like short people. One of my favorite posts and one of my life goals is not posts, excuse me, favorite memes. And it's not a meme. It's not a meme when it happens. I know everybody like got to know the Michael Jackson because he was a weirdo, right?
I mean, yeah.
But Michael Jackson was really that guy. I mean, the hoes like Michael Jackson. And not just normal size hoes, but like midgets too. And when I saw the picture of Michael Jackson with two midgets, one midget to his left, one midget to his right, drinking out of a champagne bottle, I said, that's life goals. And Michael Jackson got some pictures. Like I remember we put the video of the Puerto Rican singer that literally melted.
Oh, yeah.
Like she didn't know. Usher ain't doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. Beyonce not doing that to nobody. Taylor Swift ain't doing that. They're good. We need to stop trying to judge people based upon the GOAT. Like he literally is the entertainment GOAT. But really, my boy Dibby posted this, and it's a picture of Busta Rhymes. I'm liking some of my old rappers like living their best lives right now. And this right here, man, like Miles, if you put the video up, like this just described me from this weekend. Mandarin Blue, West Side Out. Both my running backs almost went over 100. We scored a lot of touchdowns. My son won. They're going to the playoffs. Florida State won. The Jags won. I woke up this morning basically just like Buster. Like this is the description. This is the epitome of like when you've reached a certain level as a black man. And I'm sure all men. I just happen to be a black man. So if my pilgrim brethren, y'all can chime in too. If this is how you feel when your teams win, I'm all for it. But this is how I want to be as a black man one day.
Finally, somewhere in my life that I didn't even know existed, yo. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy, yo.
When all your teams
That's
win,
it. Finally, somewhere in my life.
All your teams win, man. It's just like there's no real there's nothing that you can just it's just, man. I'm just happy right now. Like, it's like, because you don't get that. You got to be tough your whole life. You got to be all these different things. But when your teams win, you just get happy. And Florida State won. We had a tailgate. It was very small. Didn't market it that well. But I mean, I purposely didn't do it. I just didn't. I'm running out of energy. So but Duke is gonna have a tailgate. We're gonna try to market that one a lot better. But I'm gonna need people to do crazy shit like sign up early. I gotta get my people showing up on time, but y'all know how it is. It's damn near a part of the script at this point. Like people like he ain't like, man, he ain't never on time. So but we'll get that shit together. Duke's gonna be homecoming, have some good festivities. It's just like my dog Pete. Pete always tells me. Peter Ward called me on Friday. He said, JC, where you at? I'm getting ready to coach. He's like, you're not coming over? I was like, so he tells me to call him on Saturday morning to go get breakfast. So I called him on Saturday morning. He ain't nowhere to be found, but I figured that was going to happen. Then Pete hits me up and says, I'm going to be he's like, JC, I ain't got nothing to do. I'm going to be at your tailgate this time. And I already know there's a 50-50 chance that Pete's going to be at the tailgate. And if he does show up, it's going to be right at the end of it. This man called me saying he was leaving the mall at 2:00. I said, man, all right, Pete, I'll see you I'll see you on the sideline, bro. Like, I know you ain't going to make it, dog. Like, it's impossible. You can't get anywhere in Tallahassee on a game day like that. So, but still love him. What happens is one of the things I've learned is like the people who are in my life, if I like you and you're my people, I have to learn to accept you for what you are. And if I don't accept you for what you are, then I'm the one who's setting myself up to be disappointed. So like if I was really expecting Dub to just be there when I was there, then I'd be like, all right, man, that's my fault for having that expectation of my dog. It don't matter. Like, dog, this serious. Like some of these tailgate, like for example, if Duke is a 7:30 game, the lots open at 12, right? So we'll tell people it's just like this. Like I tell people that food don't the tailgate open at 12, food ain't gonna be ready till 2, right? And people get mad saying the food wasn't ready on time. I said, bitch, it's in the fucking flyer. But Pete is one of those guys that Pete gonna show up when he show up. But he's Peter fucking Warwick. Like what and he's mad cool. But like the craziest part about Pete is Pete think we like again, I don't put myself on. I am not a jealous person. I don't go back and forth. I don't try to I know he's people say James was a star. No, Peter Warwick was a star. James was a pretty good player at Florida State that y'all probably remember me more for what I've done off the field now since I've been gone, and you remember me for on. It just so happens that it kind of just it's kind of like, who's this James? Then you go back and look, oh damn, he was pretty good. Whereas Pete is like, you don't need there ain't no introduction for Pete. That motherfucker is Pete. But I know he's the star. So I'm not like mad, but Pete, hey man, I could go here. I'm like, Pete, no, I can't. I cannot go to the places that you go, Pete. You're Peter Ward. I'm James Coleman. I understand this. I'm okay with that. But we were hanging out, me, him, Lamont Green, whose son plays at Florida State now. We all know him affectionately as Boots. We were at the game, and Florida State beat Virginia Tech. And there's a part of the fan base that will just never be satisfied at all about anything. There were people complaining. So if I told you if you beat somebody by 22 points, that's a solid ass whooping, right? I think so. Good defensive performance. Everybody still wants to fire our defensive coordinator. he still wasn't good enough. It was his fault. We won 39-17. You know how many offensive points were scored in that game? 7.
Oh,
If I told you Florida State gave up 7 points, would you say, damn, that defensive coordinator is terrible? You'd be like, damn, I need to get that motherfucker. They kicked the field goal after our offense stalled out. They also scored on a on the opening kickoff. Hold on, right there. Like, actually, we're gonna follow because you're gonna see a big dude here in a second that you'll recognize. You see him at the bottom corner. I'll put this video because I want to go. Can you slow? You can. Miles is already, for those who don't know, Miles is showing the videos, but I want to show you guys one of the touchdowns. I actually got pulled back in this. I wish they had like I'm waiting for the cinematic recap because the cinematic recap comes from field level. So you can see me and Lamont Green were on the field, and Lamont was saying Trey Benson gonna have a big game. Trey Benson gonna finally have a big game. So Trey Benson had 3 big runs, but he this one was the biggest one. This was we see where it's at. No, was this that's at the 40? Or the yeah, so no. That's a 10? Oh shit. Nah, that's right. It was an 80-something yard run, 85-yard run. So this is an 85-yard run. I tweeted out there's only 2 people that could have made the tackle on this play. Me and Lamont Green. We were damn near on the field looking like hey, he's turning around. And Lamont backed up, and then Lamont had to grab me and pull me back to get me off the field because we could have got a penalty. But go ahead, push play, and I'll give you a little bit of a breakdown. I'm gonna do my Monday morning quarterback breakdown. It'll be available later. I can't show it to you guys live. Actually, here's what we can do. I want you guys to say if you're interested in this. I can't show it to you live on YouTube. But if you got questions and you would be interested in probably around like 2 or 3 o'clock, me coming on my StreamYard, because we could do like a teleconference or something on StreamYard, coming in on StreamYard as I break down this game. If you're interested in that, raise hand, and I'll put the link that you can click on to join it in the member section. So if you ain't a member, you're gonna have to watch it like everybody else. So pay the $3.99 if you would like to watch film with me breaking down this game. But let's go ahead and push play on this. This is like a little taste of what you'll get on this, guys. So right here, good pull. So this is a counter, guys. This actually was a counter. Not the greatest blocking. That was a nice block right there. And now watch. Beat the angle. Beat the angle. Everybody's hands are up. Hands up. Now Miles is coming up. I'm gonna tell you to pause it here in a second. Hands up, pause. If you look in the bottom right corner, there's a large individual right there who had just got yanked back, and he is probably the only person who could have made the tackle on Trey Benson, but he was excited. And then after that, Trey came to the sideline and said, "Man, about time." Yeah. He was skedaddling.
Okay.
All right, man. You good, man. You gotta do what you gotta do.
I just didn't want to be rude.
Nah, you're fine. You're fine. But yeah. So again, guys, we got construction going on around here. But I should have that's how close when I tell people that I'm on the when I'm on the sideline, I'm on the sideline. Legitimately on the sideline. But that was one of the plays. But like I said, me, Lamont, all these guys, my guy D-Lo had a good game. It was family day, parent day. That's why all the hotels were sold out, unless you're a Did Media Group member and you were able to get the hotel stays. We showed you tits for fits. Oh, but we were beating. Everybody's bashing our D coordinator. We were beating them so bad that you ever had a fan convert? Like show the video to the lady, the Virginia Tech fan. Like this is when you know it's a good solid butt. Seen somebody do this before. Like ain't nothing going on in life that's gonna get you to have me do like a gator chomp or toss up the U sign or some.
She was confused at first, but no, she tapped the other lady like no.
Nah, we are now like they own us. It's crazy, right? Yeah, and just in another clip, Actually, no, all the other clips. So we'll break down. I'll get the condensed game version. We'll break it down. I saw a couple people raise their hands. Remember, about 2-3, it'll be like 2:00. You have
them calling or you can
nah. What I do is I create the thing on StreamYard so that we can record it and then I can have live interaction. I just won't get credits on YouTube for it, but people might have questions. They'd be like, "Hey, man, why did he do this? Why was this happening?" Because a lot of you guys have true. Like, I had somebody ask me the other day about an underfront, and they were like, "Well, do you notice that Florida State has, when Florida State runs an underfront, do they have 3 linebackers out?" And I'm like, I'm confused at your question. I don't know what that means. Like, for those who don't know, what an overfront or an underfront is basically the alignment of the D tackles. So that has nothing to do with linebackers. It's just that's what happens with D tackles and stuff like that. There are all kinds of other shit. But what was funny though is that Brennan Sinone with 247 has this good trolling thing that he's going against Miami's um, beat writers. Miami literally wrote articles about how Florida State is using too many people in the transfer portal, and they don't use freshmen enough. So Brendan Sinone went and did a chart, and he did Pro Football Focus's top graded freshman, and he talked about how Conrad Hussey, Destin Hill, Hakeem Williams, and Blake Nicholson all got double-digit snaps at FSU's 39-17 win over Virginia Tech. Hussey and Hill made particular impactful plays. Hussey is currently Pro Football Focus top graded defender in the country. That just depends on if you like Pro Football Focus. He's played in 4 games. He's had 65 total snaps. He's got a high grade. Now Bain from Miami is starting, so he has a lot higher. He's the number 2 rated guy, but nobody's writing articles about all the freshman players that we play. We're going to go into that a little bit more about Miami and transfer portal players, and even the University of Florida, who bashed us. And I don't have this up here, but I want to discuss this for half a second. They talked about us and the transfer portal players, but Florida was complaining about one of our transfer portal guys while bragging in the next tweet about one of their transfer portal guys and how he was making significant plays. People never judge themselves by the same standards in which they judge others, and that is very, very crazy. Marcus W asked a great question. What position would you play in today's game? I probably wouldn't play. I don't know. They don't have full. I probably would still play fullback. Some schools use fullback. I probably would not have changed from linebacker to fullback though. As fullback isn't a full-time position, or I would have been what they call like a move tight end. So like I'm not big enough to be that's one thing, dog. My Miles. These motherfuckers is massive, dog. Like I'm talking about like I'm still not a small individual. I question me and LeBron. I'm like, yo, were we this big? Like Biscuit is Marquiston Douglas. Biscuit is big. Like tall, the white boy tight end. I can't think of his name right now. Huge. All the while, I felt like a little person around these guys. Like they are massive. They're explosive. The other thing that I noticed too, I talked about it on social media. So on Monday we had a slip and slide at Mandarin. I bruised my ribs on that day, and I was feeling okay. I was starting to come. What they call you on the mend. I'm injured again, and it's because of Florida State. Man, I got black people, football players, white people. We got to come up with a different. Like I'm going to give nothing but the good, solid handshake for the next 2 weeks until I'm recovered. Dude, it's not just one. They don't do. Nobody does the boom like this no more. Either you got to do all the gang sign stuff, or they come up, pam, and then you got to do like the chest bump thing. And they don't know how strong they are. So I'm doing this with people with pads on. So they're like, bam. And I took 50 shots to the ribs. Like had to have been. And so like I'm wondering why I'm like in pain. Like pain. And everybody shakes you up and then so it's all right, he got that. That shit's in. We're gonna try to talk in between Nah, do your job, man. You good. I don't know. Can you check the sound to see if they can hear me over this?
Like gold. I feel like going on. Feel like going home. I feel like going home. Yeah. Yes, I feel. Oh, I'm going on. I'm going on and on and on. I feel like going I feel like going on. Share it with me. I couldn't help but notice your pain. My pain? It runs deep. Share it with me. They'll never take me alive. I'm getting high with my. I couldn't help but notice your pain. My pain? It runs deep. Share it with me.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I know y'all couldn't hear me. We had to now it's just a little bit of sawing. It was really loud. Like I couldn't hear me think. Like that's why we had to pause it for a second. So, but so we just hopefully that entertained you guys a little bit. That 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 pain one, I gotta tell you, that song has a special meaning in my heart. So before we get into Jags breakdown, real quick, before we get into why we're all here. So my dad, I stayed with my father. The first time when I was 10, we went to go visit Ohio. And above the rim, like now movies come they come out and they're ready for you to watch. It seems like in 2 months. But back then it took like almost a whole year before a movie came out to where you can get it on VHS or something like that. And my father loved Above the Rim. And so I was watching it, and then that's the beginning of Above the Rim. That's how it starts off with. And the guy would be like, I couldn't help but notice your pain. My pain, it runs deep. Share it with me. Imagine you're 10 years old, 10-year-old me. I'm asleep. And your grown-ass fucking father, is in your face. And waking you up saying, I couldn't help but notice your pain. I'm like, why are you in my fucking face, man? You whole weirdo. Like, I have one of the most interesting relationships. Again, like I said, everybody needs healing from your father issues. But you know what helps healing? Winning. The Jaguars fan base, again, much like Florida State's fan base, was in disarray because we had been losing a lot. And everybody came in. Trevor Lawrence was considered a top 10 quarterback. Everybody was saying this was going to be the year that they ascended. You got Calvin Ridley, Christian Kirk coming back. You had a returning 1,000-yard rusher and Travis Etienne. And you started off the season with the win, but it didn't look great. Then you dropped 2 in a row. Now, the one you dropped against Kansas City, you felt like you should have won that one. You felt like you had it. You just didn't have anything from an offensive perspective. Then you drop a game against the Texans in which you clearly were the better team, but you didn't just lose to the Texans. You got your ass whooped by the Texans. CJ Stroud was doing good. But to the Jag fans, we should be used to being the Texans' first win. We've been doing that for like the last few years. So you go over to London and you feel like there's no way you're going to win. Atlanta looked like they were smoking and they were doing pretty good. And then you knew you're playing one of the red hot Bills teams. Well, sometimes you got to go home. And they call us the London Jaguars for a reason. So the Jags came out 2-0 and now they won. But last night if you're in London. But yesterday's win in London was pretty good. So much so that I'm considering doing the Jaguars film breakdown too. It was a top to bottom, very good, very, very good win. The defense for the Jaguars has been so much better than expected. And the Jaguars have been in position to win every game except for the one against the Texans with Trevor Lawrence playing mid. Like, Trevor Lawrence still has not played up to his level, even though his stats show that it was a lot better this week than it was in previous weeks, which is true. But just like watch some of these dimes. I'm not going to get a bit of monetization off of this, but it's okay. Check out, like, you got some of the videos up here. Oh, man, you good? You about to go loud again? Okay. Oh, no, you doing that. I might start rapping to that. But like, you see this dime right here to Calvin Ridley. Actually, yeah, slow it down a little bit. All right. So Trevor Lawrence is right here on R30. So pretty good strike here. Look at the pass protection. He's got time. He's sitting here. He's actually reading. Got push play. It's coming here. The Jazz were in so many third and medium and third and long situations that they converted. Now, we'll go watch all the other videos first, Miles, then we'll get to that one. But if you remember against the Chiefs, these were passes that weren't getting completed. He was throwing these out the back of the end zone. Even last week, he had one with Calvin Ridley where he couldn't get his feet in bounds. But now the plays that he wasn't getting there, he was throwing out the back, he's starting to be able to convert those. And here's one right here, the crazy Zay. That team out. So if you can play good defense and you can stop them, you need 3 receivers, and the Jags do have 3 receivers as well as a running game. And this is where my critique of Travis Etienne has been, because I saw this man terrorize Florida State for 4 years. I know what Travis Etienne is capable of doing, and it's basically this. He was able to get outside, and he scored 2 touchdowns, had over 100 yards. I think this was his best statistical rushing game in his career, in his short career, albeit. But push this real good. All right, let's go to the next touchdown. And again, watch this one right here. Is just beautiful. Yeah, we got to slow that one down. So when the jump cut is amazing on this. Is it on? Are they seeing it? Yeah, good. Just run the play, and then I'll talk about it after. So let them see it once. amazing. Just all around good. Just Mike Hall, I think you should join All In today. If you got that feeling, please do it. They're talking about highlights. Not highlights, they're talking about soundtracks. The Boomerang soundtrack might be one of the greatest soundtracks ever, guys, by the way, even though that has nothing to do with football. Yeah, Boomerang, like back in the day, soundtracks. So I mean, actually, you were alive then. So like, Best Man was a good one. Wood was a good one. Above the Rim, Boomerang. That was DMX was on that one. Yeah, soundtracks used to be as important as the damn movie. But mixtapes were big. Damn. Mike said he was going to do it, and he did it. So I'm talking about. Mike got the All In membership. Appreciate you, Mike. I'm trying to remember what's the Johnny Gill has one of the greatest R&B songs ever on Boomerang soundtrack. But anyways, Travis Etienne did good. So now let's go ahead. That's enough. Oh, let's put Trevor Lawrence's throw chart. If you remember last week, we put up he threw two passes over 30 was incomplete. One pass just over 20. This game, his throw chart was all over the place, and it was money. He was money. Jordan DeLugo puts it up next gen stats from the NFL. He didn't create that, so I don't necessarily have to give propers, but I'll get it. I'll give it to him. But Trevor Lawrence was 25 for 37, 315 yards, one touchdown. He was chunking that bitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 passes down the field with 5 of them being completed. That's solid. I like that. I like how we were going with that. Just got to continue to attack teams more vertically, and I think the Jags will be fine. Even in all of that, I'm saying he didn't have a great game, but he was 25 for 37 for 315 yards. That's a fucking good game. So I still think, but he could have done better. It's not that I think he's going to be good. I just think Tua could be better. He literally. So they played the Dolphins played the Giants. The Giants are one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Tua literally, like one of the Giants' touchdowns was because of Tua. They were in scoring position, and he threw a pick six. Like he threw it right to the guy. And then they were scoring again. He threw another interception. He got sacked when they were in scoring position. It's like the decisions are like they got a good running game, all these things. Oh man, I didn't even put this up here. This is a hell of a graphic by Florida State. I'm definitely stealing this and putting this on the YouTube community. Trey Benson, 11 carries. This is FSU fans. I want y'all to understand your complaints. 11 carries, 200 yards, 18.2 yards per carry, 2 touchdowns. Instead of saying Trey Benson had a good game, you know what everybody says? I don't want to see any more Rodney Hill. He's not any good. Kalen DeLoach, 9 tackles. Conrad Hussey really had 2 forced fumbles. That jit was hidden. J-Trav, 18 for 24, 75% completion percentage. He only had 170 yards and 2 touchdowns. It was a blowout. They said he is focusing in on 2 players. You know what J-Trav did? He targeted 11 different receivers and threw completions to 8 different guys. You know what? That means he didn't target only 2 people. That means like he only threw it 20. So with 24 throws, right? That's what he threw. I just want people to do math. This is just the math, right? This is literally the science. You divide 24 by 8. Actually, divide 24 by 11. What is that? That gives you about maybe 2 passes per person that could potentially get at max. I just want people to realize what they're saying. It doesn't make any sense. Jared Verse is washed, but he had 3 tackles, but 2 of them were sacks. And he should have numerous other ones. And there's more breakdown. We'll go with that. But I'm glad I saw that. Let me go say that real quick. We'll put that on them. We'll talk about that one a little. I'm unable to bookmark it. We're going you finna give up the ghost on that one, Florida State. They may get in a little trouble on that one too, because I'll show you, Miles. The features are a little. I like it.
Oh, that's cool.
I think so too. But people be finding reasons to get upset about everything. I thought that was his lips. I thought that was his lips at first, but that's his mouthpiece. He has a pacifier mouthpiece, but it definitely looks black faces. It's not though. It's not. It was good. Relax. All right. Now what we've all been waiting for. We saw the clips. Before we get into this Miami game, I believe people should not get caught up in perception. Perception doesn't matter. Perception, like how you feel about something, means absolutely nothing. But perspective is. And I want to give perspective to this Miami game. The fans they were touting that this game was almost sold out. But remember a couple weeks ago, Miles, we talked about Miami had a BOGO package. If you buy tickets to the Miami of Ohio game, you get free tickets to the Georgia Tech game.
Oh yeah.
So fans can't even get upset about this, like they get upset about my tailgates and lie about food not being there, and get their money back because this was buy one get one free. There is no money to give back to you. Miami had one of the biggest attendance that they've had since Florida State came down there and whipped their ass. And this is how they repay them. Now, Miles, can you speak a little bit, and you got to talk up a little bit about what your thoughts were coming in? Because you were listening to somebody and they were talking about it. What question did you ask me?
What happened? Why is it that they are talking about the Miami game on NBA channels? And
Did I say Luke? Oh my God! Shout out to my guy Luke. I want to get in. I want to put. I don't even know what Luke's comments are right now, but I gotta go.
yeah,
Yeah, my guy. Oh, my bad, Luke. I appreciate that, Luke. Luke corrected me. Can we put that on the thing? He's right. I don't ever want to be wrong on purpose. Like I want to be right on this. And Luke corrected me. It was the Texas A&M game. Facts. That. I appreciate that. Correct me on that. Luke's such a good man. Luke called me after the game. Luke was distraught. And I get why Luke was distraught, man. Luke did not deserve to have to go through what they put him through. Like, and that's coming from that's coming from my heart.
They were talking about the worst game in Miami history. I'm like, this has to be hyperbole, right?
Yes, the worst loss in Miami history. Miami history was to Florida A&M. They lost to FAMU in 1980. No, 1979. Excuse me. When FAMU won, the FAMU is the only historically black college to win a national championship. So yeah, they won the FCS. Well, it wasn't the FCS then. It was the Division I AA national championship that year. They actually had to play the game in Doak. So what happened was Miami lost to Florida State, and it was in October. Ironically, they lost to Florida State in the beginning of October. You actually put that up first, Miles. They lost to Florida State in the beginning of October, and then 2 weeks later, they had to come back to Tallahassee, and they lost to FAMU. But this was probably one of, and then the Boston College one, you had Doug Flutie, who was the Heisman Trophy winner that year. And but they were in Miami. Miami was letting them drive, and it was the Hail Mary play of the last. It's so more similar to the Boston College game. But I think if you look at the way that they lost, what did it say?
1979.
Yeah. If you look at the way they lost, I would probably say yes. This stings more because it shouldn't have happened. No matter how Miami did not play their best game. And I think I'm going to stall Miami fans out for a second. They're dealing with the same thing that I say Florida State fans deal with. It's not the loss that hurt. It's not how you win. It's the vitriol in which you're going to get from other fan bases that stings the most. And part of the problem is Miami is the biggest bunch of bullies on social media out there. There is no way to win an argument with a Miami fan. Most Miami fans. And what do you mean by that, James? Miami fans are the only one. I have this thing where I always say, I won't talk trash about you or your team if I can't beat you. But man, it was I was quiet for a while because Miami was beating us. I would critique their games, but I can't say you suck if I can't beat you. We beat Miami 45-3. It ain't even like we suck. But we're gonna beat y'all because then what happens is you move from the game to off the field. Well, we're gonna beat y'all in recruiting. So beginning of this summer, I made a bet with this guy. You guys remember I was talking about the guy with the throat thing. I'm making it wilder. Pause. Yo, that's egregious. Yo, B. We need to get Cam on the show. So it started with my guy, AJ, and AJ and them let us spaces, a 24-hour spaces after the game. And AJ bet me, and they brought me up in the spaces. Remember, I think we talked about this on the show too. I don't bet small, I bet big, so I can have I need to feel like something's attached to it. Like I bet the one Miami fan that he has a problem with drinking. And he didn't have the money, so I just said, man, let's bet a shot. And if you feel as strongly as you feel, then let's drink to it. If I win, I don't want anything from you. I just want you to take one shot. It'll be good stuff. But X was talking, and everybody was like, well, let's put a bet on recruiting. And even that time, I was like, man, I don't think we're going to beat him in recruiting. I said, man, fine. I said, bro, I will bet you $1,000 that Florida State will have a better recruiting class if you bet me that Florida State will win. If we can bet on the game heads up, said no spread, no none of that stuff. But now it's looking like I might be getting 2 stacks or the throat attachment, whichever one he wants to give me. But AJ did come through with his stuff. But again, what I'm saying is I didn't say nothing. None of us were talking. Florida State fans were just trying to say, hey, we feel confident going into the season off of a 10-win season that we could be a playoff team. And Miami fans were bothering us. And they're bothering us about all this other stuff. Miami started off really hot, 4-0. Miami fans talked about us struggling against Boston College. Then they talked about us barely beating Clemson. There's some tweets in there, Miles, that I think we have up there of people talking about us struggling with Virginia Tech. Now, we beat Virginia Tech by 22 points. Like before their game, I'm not saying it was Luke. I'm just saying it was other people. So I don't know if it was Luke. And, it's, and then they'll bring up the championships. And one of the craziest things, too, about Miami fans' championship argument, they do have more championships than us. They've been playing football for like 30 more years than us as well. You know who has more championships than both of us combined? Harvard. Do you ever see Harvard people coming up and saying we have more football championships? And 4 of Miami's championships were damn near as old as Harvard's championships. Like I think I was in kindergarten when they won the 3rd one. No, when they won the 4th one. Like, so it's kind of like it works. You got them, but like a lot of teams like have a lot more championships than all of us, and nobody's really hanging up on that. But as far as current events, so in I'm a history major, and in school I excelled in world history, which is what Miami's championships are. But you know what we used to do in world history? We did current events. So you got a lot of paperwork for current events. So currently, Miami fans were talking about us struggling with Boston College, who, by the way, is 3-3, I think. Yeah, shout out to them. And they were going up against a 2-3 Georgia Tech team that just got blown out by Bowling Green. Now, for perspective, because again, sometimes it's not about perception, it's about perspective. I want people to realize that. Bowling Green had a similar opponent to the University of Miami. They played Miami of Ohio. Miami of Ohio blew out Bowling Green. Bowling Green blew out Georgia Tech. So you would think this is a walk in the park. And with Tyler, with the Dyke being one of the most, from a statistics standpoint, being one of the most prolific quarterbacks in NCAA at the time, threw a lot of yards, scored a lot of touchdowns. The game, they have this phrase in football, it says ball don't lie. The man threw 3 interceptions. The man was literally as much like with Mario blaming the players, I kind of get it. He should have blamed Van Dyke because Van Dyke did put them in a lot of bad positions. In fact, the score was 23-20. 23-20, right? That means the game should have been 20-16. I'm gonna tell you why. One of the touchdowns that was scored by Virginia Tech was scored on Tyler Van Dyke. Pick 6. He threw another interception to shout out to Florida High's own Amari Harvey, Diamond's son. His dad was our SRO, school resource officer, at Florida High. Good people. Just throwing the ball to everybody but his team. Now they have I don't know how to say his name, but Reposado is pretty good. They have a good wide receiver. You got to stop that guy. All in all, Miami had better wide receivers. They had a better quarterback. They had a better running back. They had a better defensive line. They had better cornerbacks. They had better linebackers. They had better ingredients. They had better pizza. They had better toppings. They were like Papa John's. The game should not have been close, but those things happen. Everybody has that team. Florida State's is Boston College. Clemson's is Syracuse most years. I think Georgia Tech is one of those teams from Miami, even though they've blown Georgia Tech out recently. But Georgia Tech came in there and they beat them not because, yes, Charles, there is construction going on in the background. We're getting new padlocks, I think, right? Ooh, that's fancy. I don't even know. Oh, with badges. Oh, yeah. So members can. So you put up there my spirit animal. So I stopped watching the game. I was getting on the road, getting ready to head back to Jacksonville because I had to cover the Jags at 9:30. I'm going to set the scene for you. I was watching the game illegally on YouTube TV and driving. Very dark, can't see at night, but it was a very intriguing game. I needed to know what was happening. But then I saw Miami stop Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech wasn't winning. I was like, there's no chance that they're going to win that game. It's 46 seconds. So I put my phone down and I focused on getting to my destination safely. And then my phone vibrated and I got tagged in something. And my buddy asked me to make a hymn. And if we could play that hymn again for the people who didn't get here. And I said, what would you, and it had this video of a grown man crying. And it moved me. And I was like, and then I saw the score. And I was like, sometimes players mess up. It said 23-20. And I'm like, there's no way. Oh, so Miami kicked a field goal. They were in scoring position. So Miami's 23, but there's no way that Georgia Tech didn't score. So why is it 20? And then I find out that Georgia Tech did the impossible. So let's go ahead and play this. And so this is what he wanted me to do. And I felt that man, like that was a cry from the pit of the soul. Like that's a good cry. That's one of those healthy cries. Like sometimes you got to have a cry like that. That's the cry of heart. That's a heartbreak cry. Like I don't like being in positions like this to cry because something bad might happen. But we can go ahead and play that for them.
I feel like going on. Feel like going on. I feel like going on. Yeah. Yes, I feel.
it's a tough thing, man. Loss. Loss like that is very difficult. It gets perpetuated a little bit more when yeah. So my man said he's only 22. Like there was some I thought it came out that he was 29. If he's 22, then okay, I get it. But he was 29 years old, man. You got friends dying at that age. Like 20, like that's what the team like. Come on, man. The game ain't the end of the world. But if he's only 22, I get it. But they do have a tight end that's pretty pretty old. But let's just go into some of the other stuff because I'm about to lose my phone is actually gonna die here soon, so I don't even know what to do. I can't follow on, so I'm gonna have to try to strain my eyes here. So I'm flying with you, Miles, on this one. So this was me when I found out I'm driving. I'm not gonna hold you guys. I pulled over and I just listened to all of it, and that was me right there laughing because between finding out the way I found out and then listening to Miami Cane Spaces for 24 hours, like I almost I was tired because I was listening to guys like mourn, like full grown men. Like, I mean, it was MFTK. They were like, man, fuck these kids. They were like, man, fuck Mario Cristobal. They were like, man, what else they were going Cristobal, the kids. The OC was the only person I think was unscathed in it. They blamed the DC, Lance Guidry. Somebody said he was drunk. If you know Guidry's past, that's not cool. Guidry's not a bad guy. Like, he's actually pretty cool. And then they shifted like this, I think he's the most positive thing. And I think everybody who's a Kane fan should be following X. Because Throat was talking about they were able to get a commit. So this is what they were talking about. Somebody obviously messed up the Matthew Lee guy. So they said he was 29 years old, which obviously he's not that. If Luke would know more about his team than I know, so I'm not gonna perpetuate this. But this is again, put this one up, Miles. And before we show the picture of the large guy in the gray sweatshirt, I want to read. Let's read off. Like you can probably see it better than I can, Miles. Read off this tweet. And this is why people are more upset is because of what you did while you were going through it. So read that for me, please, Miles, the selection.
The only thing that matters tonight is getting out of here with a dub and staying undefeated. If anyone can relate, I know it's y'all having struggled with Boston College. Every game ain't going to be a blowout win. Sometimes you got to pull out the ugly wins too.
That's all we were saying. And then this is when my boy Reggie uses again with friends like this who needs enemies. Used a picture of me at our senior banquet, trying to take a picture of the whole thing. And the reason why is because and I'm learning this. Like, people don't get grace when they don't give grace. He is 100% right. There's no cap, no lie, all of that shit. You got to take the good with the bad. There are very few teams this year. There is no truly just dominant college football team. A win is a win. But man, when you are out here rolling, and so that happened, he tweeted that, right? But then I really want to use this again. This movie couldn't be made. This wasn't even that long ago. Never go full Mario. Never go full Mario. Florida State, half Mario. And what makes it sadder is that Oregon fans might be the realest fan base on Twitter, and they get a lot of hate for reasons that because they try to show up. So Oregon fans and Florida State fans had some battles for a while when we plucked Taggart from them, but they told us you're not gonna like what you're gonna see. And you know what we did? We fought them tooth and nail. We said, nah, man, y'all just some haters. Y'all just mad because we took your coach. All right. So we end up going through our darkest hours. Miami goes and snatches Mario Cristobal. And Oregon fans told them that, hey, he's not going to be what you think he's going to be. He's going to recruit very well, but he's going to make some very questionable shit. And what if I told you that with Oregon leading 31-28 at home and the ball near midfield, Cristobal could have had Herbert kneel to run the clock down to 16 or fewer seconds before punting, and Stanford only had one timeout left. Instead, he had C.J. Verdell run on 2nd and 2. The call looked entirely reasonable at the moment, but the redshirt freshman fumbled. Stanford took possession with 51 seconds left and drove to the tying field goal as time expired. Cardinal won 38-31 in overtime on Colby Parkinson's juggling touchdown catch and an Alameen Murphy interception. If I went through something that was remotely close to like that, I would again, I am the type of person that avoids pain. Like life is painful enough. I'm not trying to go purposely find pain. Like guys are going around here. Like if I knew that happened, I'd be like, damn, this happened to me before. And even though in that situation, it was probably more reasonable for him to try to go get the first down. This situation was not. For those who don't know, Georgia Tech had 0 timeouts. Like, settle, how the Spanish say it. If they took a knee, I believe the game clock, your play clock goes to 40 seconds. So that means it's impossible for them to get the ball. In fact, the probability of them winning was so bad that Miles, can you put that up there? That after the game, this is what ESPN had after the Georgia Tech win. It was a 99.9% probability of that happening. People say he was trying to impress recruits with what? They've already seen one of your worst outputs. Like if they're there, like matter of fact, one of the guys was committing anyway. Carr, shout out to that. That's a good get. I'm not a hater. I'm going to tell you that's a good wide receiver. Former Georgia Bulldog commit. You got Jit, and you still out here like and he want to commit to you after the bullshit he seen. He was going to commit, dog. Sometimes it's like it's the friend that feels like they got to show out in front of the girls that you already got to lay up with. Makes no sense of what you did. But even in all of that, there's a phrase in football. So I love giving y'all phrases that y'all can go use with your friends. Don't let one loss become 2 losses. Don't let one mistake become multiple mistakes. So you made a mistake, right? Chip fumbles, happens. I feel the only person I feel bad for in this whole situation is the running back that fumbled. Right. Even though I think fumbles are completely preventable, but that young man did not try to be that, because as I told the young man who fumbled the ball at Bowles, and you guys all remember the story I told you. I told the kid, it's not his fault. It's my fault. I should have never put him in that fucking situation in the first place. That kid, the difference is the Miami running back is actually pretty good. That my kid, I don't know why. I don't know what I was thinking. Actually, I know what I was thinking. It doesn't matter. The perception and the perspective doesn't help what the fuck happened. But to go and drive 76 yards and I believe 26 seconds is almost fucking impossible, right? If you go to ACC Direct Network, Miles, on that thing, on our stuff, it shows the entire minute, and I think it shows the whole thing. Yeah, no, yeah. Actually, do we want to show the fumble? Should we show the fumble? I think we have it on there somewhere. Hold on, that one. Trying to find. Damn. Well, we definitely gonna show the interview. Damn, I don't have it. Let's just show this, man. Roll this beautiful bean footage. Now, this is 10 seconds left in the game. 2nd and 10. Now, another reason why granted, I'm not going to say that this was worse than that loss, because the worst loss in Florida State history is under our current coach, Jacksonville State. Terrible loss. But this has echoes of a lot of things that happened with Jacksonville State. You're playing off. So, like, just look. So we're playing off. We have 10 seconds left in the game. I don't believe in prevent, but goddamn, there is one rule. Don't let them get behind you. Or if you get beat, I'm going to tell you guys, free game by big game. We're going to do a show called Fundamental Fridays after this football season, so we can kind of show you guys some fundamental rules in football that can help make you a smarter person, or if you're a coach, make you a better coach. If you're beat, what would fit they're on the 45 right now. If you're beat and you get a pass interference, they don't put extra time back on the clock. One, they'll get one free play, and at worst, it would have moved them to the 30, and they would have had to kick a field goal to tie the game going to overtime. Overtime is better than losing. Just for those who don't know. Let's push play and let's see what happens in this miracle. Now, to Haynes King's credit, Haynes King completed more yards in this drive, I believe, than he did the whole game. Now, there's probably holding right there, but they're not going to call that because the fumble shouldn't have been a fumble. Now, look at this. Boom, pause. This is just not optimal. This is like, this is why I don't blame the kid. And the coaching decision was compounded because these guys are doing this. Now, there are guys in Kane spaces and notable notable First Amendment defender. My uncle, all of our uncles, Luther Campbell, better known as Uncle Luke. Shout out to Luke. Took me to my first strip club. Probably helped my fondness of adult chicken wing establishments to this day. Said that these guys were checked out. They were probably already taking their shoulder pads off because they thought the game was won. And if that's the case, the culture is not good. I'm going to say this is why. You're in a tight game, and there's 40. You don't take your shoulder pads off until you know the game is won. Right. Like, it's not a blowout. Blowout, I get it. A blowout and the team comes back, that stinks. I actually got a chance to talk to damn, I can't think of my guy's name. Not Ike Hilliard. I've talked to Riddell Anthony about it, but I'm trying to remember my guy, the other wide receiver for Florida during that time. Florida State had a big comeback. We were down 31-3 going into the fourth quarter. It's called the choke it doke is what they call it. We ended up tying the game 31-31. Their guys had taken their shoulder pads off because the game was won, right? And then we came back, and I get that excuse. That's a good one. You were whooping our ass, and then we came back. Like, that's not supposed to happen. This right here, you shouldn't have been that. You just weren't in the right mental standpoint. And coaches should be telling you, hey, you need to make sure remind you nobody get behind you. Or if you're beat, grab them. You know what would have happened if they would have? Can you go back a little bit, Miles? Let's see if we go back. How far back we can go. I don't want to go back too far, just a little bit. I don't know where he got beat at.
Yeah, I know. You're looking back in it.
He got beat a long time ago. So let's just say this, buddy. We'll put right. We knew we were beat at the 30. Can we agree on that as a family? We knew at minimum he was beat at the 30. You know what happens if you just grab him then? You're still just putting him in field goal range. And at that point, we can't see the clock, but it's probably 5 seconds left. So you're forcing them to only have one decision to make, and that's to kick the field goal. And you go into overtime, and you probably win.
There was only 1 second left.
Well, I'm saying when he caught it and went in, there was 1 second left. It was 10 seconds when it started. So I say that to say is, as bad as Mario's non-kneel was, because the game could have been over, it got compounded by two other plays, because another play got them into this position where a guy got beat. So you tell him, hey, don't let him get behind you. You just got beat. Just don't do it again. And then when he goes back and they do this. And I think, was this one, Luke would know better than me. Was this on the All-American Kenny Kitchens? One of the best I still take him with the Jags to this day. Yeah, Cam, my bad, not Kenny. Cam slipped somewhere before this, counted on him to be an All-American. Okay, yeah, so it was on Cam. So it's one of those situations where, again, another good terminology that I like to use is could you have pinched the bitch? This is a situation, pinching the bitch would have helped. But when a bad situation happens, don't make the situation worse by doing shit like this. What Mario did. As the adult in the situation, you have got now he slipped. Like he lucky. Like I'll say this, and I'm gonna give you this, like I don't think that kid fumbled. I think his momentum was stopped. But they obviously, but you can't don't let the game come down to the refs. It should have never been as close of a game. But go to the Mario. What is Mario like after one of these tough losses as a coach, man? It's got to be difficult to come and face the reporters and the fan base that's as passionate as the Hurricane fan base. What did Mario say?
I started, it was going to be at 157, and we were going about 127 off, and then it was recalibrated. We should have taken time out right there. I can't. Thought you could get the first down. We talked about 2 hands on the ball, but that's not good enough. Just told him to take it easy.
Damn, he that humbled.
Fumbled the ball 25, 75 yards. When the drive started, it was going to be at 157, and we were going about 127 off, and then it was recalibrated. We should have taken time out right there at the end. Thought you could get the first down. We talked about 2 hands on the ball, but that's not good enough. Just told him to take it easy. That's it. Fumbled the ball 25, 75 yards in 2 plays. So, no excuse.
Run it back one more time.
When the drive started, it was going to be at 157, and we were going about 127 off, and then it was recalibrated. We should have taken time out right there at the end. Thought you could get the first down. We talked about 2 hands on the ball, but that's not good enough. Just told him to take it easy. That's it. Fumbled the ball 25, 75 yards.
Okay, that wasn't as bad as what people made it seem like. Still should have just been like I think at the end of the day, he could have just maybe could have just kept it as we should have called a timeout, told him to keep 2 hands on the ball, and we didn't. At the end of the day, you really probably could have just taken a knee. But a lot of people pointed out that he doesn't ever take knees, or he hasn't taken a knee in any of the games. He's kept going. But I also had to remind people that Miami's never been in this position all season. They've played Miami of Ohio. They played Texas A&M, Miami of Ohio, Bethune-Cookman, and Temple. And they've, done pretty good. Texas A&M was the best team that they played. They did a really good job against them. Miami, in all aspects, should have won this game. Miami had 23 first downs to Georgia Tech's 13. Miami had 453 yards of total offense, 288 yards passing, 165 yards on the ground. But what they also had, they had 6 penalties for 80 yards. They weren't even the most penalized team in that game. Georgia Tech was penalized 11 times for 80 yards. 11 times, 67 yards. Miami had 5 turnovers. They had time of possession. They had all of those things. And they still were in position to win the game because, as we talked about, as our good friend, Greg McGarity, Taxslayer Gator Bowl CEO, former athletic director of the University of Georgia, states, 7 games, you're going to just be absolutely better than everybody. 3 games, you're going to need everything to go perfectly. 2 games, you're going to need Jesus and pray. This game was one of those that they would have needed Jesus and pray, but they are also just absolutely top to the bottom better than Georgia Tech. And the stats show that.
It makes it seem like coaching is not as important.
Coaching is important when you go up against tight games and in situations like this. But you're right. Coaching isn't as important. Jimmy's and Joe's go out there and win games. But coaches have to fall on the sword and take accountability for not putting the Jimmy's and Joe's in the best positions. And sometimes the guys that you think, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, you don't have a better quarterback on your roster than Tyler Van Dyke. But to quote Denny Thompson, any interception is not the quarterback's fault after the second interception. It's the offensive coordinator's fault for keeping the quarterback in. The interceptions were egregious. The fumbles, bad. You play that poorly against anybody else on the run. And let me tell you this. This is what Miami needed. Now, I said Miami was going 7-5 this year. I still think Miami's going 7-5. I didn't have Miami beating Texas A&M though. So this beating the Georgia Tech kind of catches me back up. But this was the layup game for Miami to go 8-4, potentially 9-3. Because if you play anything like you played against Texas A&M, the beginning of the Miami of Ohio game, or Georgia Tech, against North Carolina, Clemson, NC State, Florida State, Louisville, and I'll beg to tell you, Boston College. The only game you have, like, I would think you're going to beat Virginia and Boston College, without a doubt. But damn, it's time to step back and just stop talking shit until you get some more wins on you. But now I'm going to tell you this right here. You beat North Carolina, put your chest back out. Shit happens. Be like, players fuck up. But until then, I need y'all to go. It's like the Minister Farrakhan in his speech on 60 Minutes, where the guy said he called the African nation one of the most corrupt in the world. He said, "Shh, you should be quiet." Shh. Or just go back to talking about the things that you guys have been very, very good at the last 20 years. The last 20 years, Miami has been the best at winning recruiting. Like, you got that. And you're still behind. That's the wild part. If I told you, Miles, let's see, what I wonder where they are now with Not Car. That should have bumped them up a little bit. They were 17 in recruiting. I should have got them up, right? Yep, they got them to 11. Miami has 23 commitments. But if you listen to Miami, you would think that they were ahead of Florida State in recruiting. They're not. Florida State is 6 with less commitments. Now, they're still hot. It's Miami. Miami's going to get cats. I always believe that. But one thing you're not going to be able to face is the first year everybody gives you grace. You blew up the staff. You hired a guy. Can I talk in common sense terms right now? I don't mind. Mario has always, when he was a coordinator, he was a run first guy. As a head coach, he's always been a run first guy. You have a quarterback that excels in throwing the ball downfield until he has no time, and you bring pressure on him. Like, that's always been the case for TVD. When we beat Miami on the 4th and 14, when everybody celebrated losing, like that being what got Manny Diaz fired, that's all Florida State did was bring pressure onto him, and he threw 3 interceptions in that game as well. He lost you that game more than he won, more than he brought you back. If you didn't have him at quarterback, I'd argue that you would have won. And you were better than Florida State. Like, top to bottom, you were better than Florida State. But when you go in and you bring in the defending he was the offensive coordinator for Michigan, but he was considered the assistant in the nation, who's now the OC at Maryland, who's also Maryland's 5-1, I believe. Yeah, that's what I was looking for right there. But Miami told us that they were going to run a spread offense with a coordinator who's run first and a head coach who's run first. And you know what coaches do typically when things get tight? They go to what they know. Then they fired him. Fine. You also had Kevin Steele, one of the best defensive minds, but I still don't understand why Kevin Steele had Darrell Jackson covering a running back on a wheel route. That's still, to this day, I don't understand that one. Kev, you wrong for that one. But he's not a DC at Alabama, who's 4-1 and playing good defense, by the way. But you fire your DC, you bring in Lance Guidry, who's a really good special teams coach, by the way. I learned about him because Tag wanted to hire him for Florida State. That's how I knew he had a little problem with the sipping. You bring in a new OC who's an air raid guy. And I tell people, I don't think you really know what air raid is. air raid is literally like they're talking about they're going to run the ball, they're going to do these things. And I don't even think he's the proper guy with air raid because you don't have the tools at wide receiver yet. Now he's recruiting the fuck out of these tools. Not Carr good. If they flip Jeremiah Smith, JoJo's good. Like those guys will eventually be good. But like right now, you just don't have a lot of the trolling that people are doing. You're setting yourself up to get trolled back because you don't even know that you don't have the food in the cabinets for the food you're trying to serve yet. And what's worse is you don't have the quarterback yet to be able to produce when you do have all of that. Now, air raid is literally called air raid. It's air and raiding something. Like literally like that. It's air raid is what Texas Tech did. Air raid is that's Texas Tech offense. Like the pirate that's dead. That's what he set up. Your short passing game is actually part of your run. You throw more than you do in the spread. Now he may try to describe his air raid as that, but that ain't what the guy who basically invented the air raid offense would say. Like Mike Leach literally will throw the ball 100. Said he'll throw the ball 100 times if he has to. That's just Mike Leach, who invented the air raid. That's not James Cole's perspective. But I say all that to say is Miami will be fine. But the reason why Miami's getting what they get is because of what they give out. And here's why they're getting what they give out. And I talk about this because I'm a guy who almost went to Miami. I have friends who played in Miami. I like Miami. The problem is Miami is living in a culture that was made in the 80s. It's like seeing a bunch of people who it's like me seeing somebody my age still trying to live like they Scarface. You will never be like they have Mark Rick, who unfortunately Mark Rick just put out that he's been suffering from Parkinson's. They tried to have the bad boy image when Mark Rick was the head coach. Nobody hates Mark Rick. It was Bobby Bowden and then Mark Rick in terms of most beloved coaches. You will be great when you get rid of that. We're going to bring Miami back. It's not the 80s anymore. You're not going around in fatigues and things like that and trying to intimidate guys no more. That shit don't work no more. Miami will be back when Miami creates a new identity for what Miami is. It's the false bravado of the stuff that used to happen. And some of it's been kind of attacked. Kelvin Harris, who is a Miami legend, was a starting guard for 3 of their national championship teams. I get a chance to talk to him all the time. When Deion Sanders walked through the Alabama State sideline, he said, Deion been doing that since forever. And you know what I asked Kelvin? He said, he been doing it forever? He said, yeah, he did that in college and he did that in the pros. I said, oh, so Deion walked through y'all sideline at Miami? Y'all let Deion Sanders, a rival, walk up and down y'all sideline? And then he never responded to me. What happens is, eventually, when you're a bully and you're truly at the prime of your bullying, y'all let Deion Sanders, a rival, the worst thing that can happen to a bully is your car get pulled. And then he never you don't have nothing. You don't have nothing to trump. What happens is, and that's what's consistently happening. And it's a very intoxicating place when you go down there to visit. Fun place to visit. I just think, my opinion is, if Miami just focused on like the important shit, like winning, you probably wouldn't be in the situations that you're in right now. But that's my whole again. But I think it's the constant need to feel like you reliving something in the past. That's why every year Miami fans say they're back, and every year they do something like this to prove that you're very far away, long way from being back. Still love them. I still think that they're going to be fine. But to quote my guy, y'all got a tough road to hoe. Very far away, and some guys with a lot better talent than Georgia Tech. Y'all might get Amari Gaynor drafted off of this game, because when y'all played North Carolina at night, which is terrible. Like, I don't think they should have done this to you guys. That spread is 3.5. That's either going to, I don't know, man. Like, either Miami's going to blow North Carolina out, or like I said, either Miami's going to beat North Carolina by 14, or they're going to get drum fucked. I don't even know if that's a proper phrase. But I'm not going to touch that game. I can tell you that much. Right, Luke, I agree. Deion never beat Miami. That's what I'm saying. Like, but the thing is that even now, Warren Sapp out there, Warren Sapp is like putting his note, like, even that's the fucked up part is you know what they blasted us about Deion. This is one of the trolls from Miami fans to me. Even y'all best don't want to come and have nothing to do with y'all. Deion said he graduated from Hilltop or Hillman, wherever the fuck he graduated from. And then you got cokehead playmaker, Michael Irvin, Warren Sapp, Murder Ray, like everybody on Colorado sidelines, when Miami's having one of the best starts in Miami, like that Miami's had in recent history. I was with, so we talked about it on the show. I'm with Alonzo. Like, yo, y'all over here, like, support Deion, but damn, come holler at your little bros, right? Your nephews and them. And if that, like, ooh, Drake May. I mean, it'll be a great statement game if they win. I just, you know, sometimes, you know, you gotta look for these kind of things. I don't know, man, but that shit ain't looking pretty though. It is not looking pretty. But I will say this, and I didn't realize this, but I like when people go into the stats. You realize Miami hasn't won a game off the bye week since 2016. Like the I'm gonna start looking at Miami's schedule and just saying like the toughest opponent Miami has is the game after bye. But nah, don't even post that one, Miles. Look up the next one, Tally Juice with the kids. This is what that running back should have said, or somebody, one of the leaders in Miami's locker room. Like we got footage from inside because they running it like a Pop Warner team. This is the only thing I can imagine. The only way I can imagine it sounding.
The worst team, the worst experience I ever did. Players, this is not on you. So listen. This is not on you. Players, y'all did everything. Y'all gave your heart. Y'all did everything right. It was the coaches. The coaches. The worst team, the worst experience I ever did. Players, this is not on you. So listen. This is not on you. Players, y'all did everything. Y'all gave your heart. Y'all did everything right. It was the coaches. The coaches.
That young man is upset. He is. It's. I mean, that's the reality. It was. I mean, all the analysis. Players make plays. Coaches call plays. But at the end of the day, it's the reality. Rivalries bring out the wildest moments, some of the wildest plays, some of the best memories that you have. But I'll say this. Nobody is wilder than Oklahoma's coach. He has said some of the most pause-worthy moments in the history of coaching. Like one time he even did the hands. That's the guy, remember, with the hose? Said sometimes you just gotta take the hose and you just gotta put it to your mouth and just let it blast in your face or something like that. We're like, yo, phrasing. Yeah, that's his problem. This is worse. He like Cam and Mace. Cam and Mace gotta get a hold of this one. Because just the sophomores, as we want to be venerables, is just it's hilarious because I think he knows it now and it's a part of who he is, but like it's also honest and incidental. So like just like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's in a scandal one day.
And I've always been able to respond the right way.
Oh, you gotta run that back one more time.
And several times I've been on my knees plenty in this profession, and I've always been able to respond the right way.
Looking around. Just
Like, it's just like, yo, coach, what are you saying, man? That's when you know life is good, when you can, like, after a rivalry win, they beat Texas, by the way, who Texas is the team that everybody was trying to anoint. Shout out to Sarkisian. No, sorry. Sarkisian. It seems like all the guys who get caught for sipping struggle. Like, some of their decision making looked like they were sipping on the job at that point. And Oklahoma obviously beat Texas in the Red River rivalry. And, you know, that kind of stuff happened. But on that note, guys, it's just I loved it. It was a great weekend. The only thing that could have made it better would be Florida losing. But they beat Vanderbilt. They handled their responsibility and their job. And it is what it is. Miami fans, you'll bounce back from this. You'll be fine. I still think you guys could be 7-5, 8-4. I really think that NC State game is a game that you guys could probably win, but that's going to be tough at NC State. Florida State, they just announced that the Duke game, it will be at 7:30 or 8 p.m. So that means we will have a tailgate for Duke for homecoming. So can't wait to see you guys there. And outside, like I hope that we don't do something that we've never seen that. Also, the one other thing, last thing I want to say about Miami with karma, and I have a picture of, like, they beat Duke a few years ago on a kick. It was crazy, Miles. Like, the kick was wild. Like, it was they did like a lot of laterals, and it was like Duke scored, should have won the game. Miami comes back, beats them in the last second, and Miami fans were saying that the running back was down, which he was. But if you remember, a few years ago, you won with that same referee crew, with a similar referee crew, not going back and reviewing the film because Buddy's knee was down. You know, because what goes around comes around. Just sometimes you don't know if you're coming or going. To quote Jadakiss. So on that note, man, appreciate you guys. Hope your weekend was fun. Hope you guys stay tuned to a lot of stuff. In a couple hours, I'm going to reconvene. We'll be doing some film breakdown of the Florida State game. If there are any other games that you guys would like me to kind of get a chance to look at, check out, then that's fine. If you're looking for where it's at, and I will retweet this, I'll post it. But go in the on YouTube, on community. That is where we have a lot of stuff that can be said. If you're a member, you'll be able to see it. It will automatically post up on your thread on the YouTube community. So we will post the link. You guys can come join me. We'll go over some film breakdown, and hopefully you guys will start learning how to watch film from the perspective of guys who have played it and seen it. And there's no disrespect to anybody else breaking it down. I appreciate all of their perspectives, but I'm going to use simple words, simple terms and phrases that are actually used in football locker rooms, and just say, hey, from my perspective, this is what I see. This is what I would have done. This is what I think is happening. There are still some inaccuracies even when I do it because I don't know exactly. And if I did know, I would not be doing film breakdown. Just so people know, anybody who actually knows what the team is doing, what the quarterback's reads are, all of this different stuff would not be doing these things. And I appreciate you, Panama Jack. Now the goal is to get us over 4,000. Need to get over 4,000 members. We need to get, members too. 4,000 subs. When we get to 4,000 subs, what is that? Grill Master, appreciate you becoming does it say which one? Just says member? Oh, cool. Appreciate that, bro. We need to get to 4,000 subs. We'll give away the $400. If we get to 5,000 subs, we will be giving away 2 pairs of tickets to the Miami FSU game. And remember, Wednesday show, we play Syracuse at noon. We will be giving away. I'm giving away 2 pairs of tickets right now. If we get back to over 100 members, I'll give away 3 pairs. I'll give away 3 pairs of tickets to the FSU Syracuse game at noon. So you'll have plenty of time to be able to adjust. It has to be if you're looking at it from your phone, it has to be from a browser. Like, that's the only way to join a membership, or you have to you don't have to watch it. You can watch from the app, but to be able to access how to pay for membership, you have to be able to do it from a web browser. If we get to 100 viewers on that Wednesday show, I'll give away 3 pairs of tickets. How about that? So that's the goals. Appreciate you guys for chopping it up with me. And as always, we'll see you guys next time.